Hi everyone, welcome back to In Nature Tarot. My name's Karina, if you didn't know. Today we are going to be kind of just talking. I really want to be using this platform as not just tarot reading, but also like overall like a general healing, transformation, finding yourself, helping yourself grow and transform into what you really want to be and become and who you're meant to be as well. And so I just really want to start opening this channel up to more than just tarot readings, even though they're really fun and I enjoy them. I really want to make more of a sit down and talk about topics, about spirituality, and kind of just get into the real what actually spirituality is, because I feel like there's so much fake positivity and like spirituality, and all I have to do is get some crystals and sage and that's it. I'll be fine. You know, that's all I need to become spiritually in tune. When in reality, being spiritual is actually a constant study, a constant transformation, a constant giving and taking of your energy, learning to balance yourself. But really, most of all, is acknowledging your feelings, and that's kind of what I really want to talk about today. Is feelings, and when they come up, especially really extreme ones, and kind of what to do with them. And recently, I just kind of had a little bout of depression, and I've had depression since I was a teenager, and just something I have had and is part of my life. And I just want to preface this, I am not a professional. This is just my experience, my story, and all that. And if you do need professional help, seeing a therapist and all that, I've seen multiple therapists at different points in my life. There's nothing shameful or wrong about getting help. And it's just a great way to get a second opinion and kind of calm down that voice. But if you do need professional help, please, get it if you need it. I'll also put some links down in the description box if you feel called to and you need some support. So for the past week, I have just been feeling down energetically, and not even mentally or physically, just drained. I've been working on a lot. I've been starting a new job. I'm trying to balance a relationship with a schedule where ours don't match up. And also, this is being recorded in February, and February is a really, triggering month for me. There's a lot of past events that have happened in the month of February, and in January. But the first kind of 2 months of the year are always kind of hard for me. So yeah, I've just been noticing that I've just been feeling low. And I think the first step to kind of feeling your feelings is just to acknowledge them, to not try to stuff them down and be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm just gonna be happy. I've been feeling low, and I've kind of just been adjusting my schedule to kind of fit that low energy, if you will. But yeah, I really just want to dive into specifically yesterday, when I kind of was feeling, at the climax of my depression. And what I kind of did throughout the day was acknowledge it, that I was feeling sad and down and all that stuff. And I kind of made myself sit out in the sun because it's winter and the sun finally came out. So I sat outside and replanted a plant and read a little bit, and that felt really good for a little bit. And if any of you struggle with depression or anxiety, it doesn't disappear like that. I still am lingering with the effects of it today. But I think overall, it's just, I really try to push myself to do things even though I really don't want to. So for example, I did my laundry last week and it's still in a pile on my floor, and so I made myself put my laundry away, as well as I went on a little vacation like a month ago and I still hadn't put the bags away. So just clearing my space that I've been meaning to do for a while, basically since I've been starting to feel down. So forcing myself to do that. Forcing myself to take a shower, to put on makeup even though I didn't feel like it, to make myself eat some food, mostly comfort food, to be honest. And then another thing I did was I watched sad movies to make myself cry, and I also just needed to cry. And again, this goes back to acknowledging your feelings, because say I'm feeling down and I just pretend to be happy. That's not healthy. That's not healthy to accept, okay, I'm feeling down. So what I try to do is be like, okay, I acknowledge that I'm feeling down, and I acknowledge that it's okay for me to cry and to have these feelings and to kind of let it out and express it and do whatever I need to do to kind of have that release. Because if I hold that in, it's just going to build up and build up and build up, and then I'm just going to snap one day, and that's not healthy. So I think with any feeling that arises, try to feel it, try to acknowledge it, try to feel it. And all day, I just sat on the couch. I sat on the couch and I watched YouTube videos, I watched Netflix, I scrolled through my phone. There was nothing to shake me out of feeling that way yesterday. And I kind of just acknowledged it and been like, okay, I'm feeling this way. We're just going to have a day. I'm going to let myself have this day where I'm just feeling poop. And luckily I had the day off. But yeah, to just acknowledge that you're feeling like crap. And additionally, like, I tried doing a meditation and I tried to but some days it doesn't work. Some days you just have to feel like poop. And I think not punishing yourself and acknowledging, be like, okay, I feel like poop today. I'm just going to sit on the couch all day. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to watch movies. I'm going to veg out. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm just going to be, and to just sit in these feelings and cry if I need to. And I feel like I'm feeling better today because I did acknowledge those feelings and were able to have that day to release all these feelings instead of just keeping them pent up and perfect in a little box. And I'm so happy and I love everything and my life is great and doesn't have problems or stress. So it's like, no, that's not true. That's not how life is. Life is stressful, it's expensive, it's a lot of changes, it's a lot of work. There's just a lot to life. There's always going to be something, in your life that you need to work on. So basically, just feeling your feelings is what I've come to realize that really helps me process and move forward. And another thing I set myself the task of is to not live in that emotion and that space. I kind of mentally, made a little deal with myself. Be like, okay, all yesterday we are allowed to feel like poop and just sit around and mope around and cry and listen to sad emo music from the 2000s, which I have a playlist, I'll link below. I definitely listened to that yesterday. But to kind of mentally handshake myself, be like, well, I give myself this day, or I give myself this hour, or I give myself these last 5 minutes of feeling this way. And then you just decide, I'm done. I'm done wallowing in whatever that is. And again, seek professional help if you need it. This is just what has worked for me over the years of just acclimatizing my depression to my life, because it is something that does come up, and it's usually not without reason. Another thing I want to touch upon is when feelings do come up and emotions and strong events, acknowledging what your body is trying to tell you. Sometimes, especially with February, there's a lot of triggering sad things coming up. So it makes sense that I would be starting to kind of feel that feelings starting to build up. And it's a way of my body saying, hey, these are feelings you're not acknowledging, so we're going to make you acknowledge them until like you can release them, because if you don't, like, it's just gonna, it doesn't end well. But it's almost like your body is trying to tell you something, to like, hey, pay attention to me. I have something to say. I need to say something. You're not paying attention to a certain part of your body. And on top of that, I've been trying to eat healthier, but I've also been having bouts of really bad flare-ups in my stomach, which is just something I've been dealing with for, I don't know, a couple years. And so it's also like my physical body is trying to tell me like, hey, there's something off here. And they do say that your gut health is very linked to your brain health and vice versa. And that if you are eating like crap or like having stomach problems, your mental health is definitely going to be involved in that. And it makes sense because your body is all connected. It's constantly talking to each other and telling each other signals. But, are you going to listen to what your body's trying to tell you as well as like a third party participant in this weird human shell we live in, for our souls, if you will? Like it's a weird thing because we are mostly so disconnected from our bodies on a daily basis, including myself. I'm not a perfect person either. You're working all day, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're running around, you're not stopping to acknowledge, be like, oh, how is my body feeling? And why is it feeling this way? Instead of just taking a pill like ibuprofen or something like, oh, I have a headache, I'm just gonna take an ibuprofen. Like, okay, well, why is your head hurting? Maybe it's because you've been like on the computer like this for 9 hours every day. Listen to your body and acknowledge it, and like almost like touch the part of your body and be like, okay, well, what are you trying to say? And I know it's kind of daunting to like ask your body, but just be like, okay, well, what if your head could talk to you, or your headache that you're having, or your stomach ache? What would it say to you right now? If it could talk, crazy. If it could talk, what would it say? And just see what comes up. And sometimes it's just acknowledging it, being like, okay, I hear you, I see you, that I'm having a headache, I get it. It's probably because I've been sitting on the computer and I haven't been stretching and taking care of my body as much as possible. So I'm going to work on that. Or it's just about acknowledging, be like, okay, I know that my stomach is upset right now, and I acknowledge that there's a lot happening. And whenever I feel outside forces, through empathy and all that stuff, it affects my stomach. And it's almost like an indication that there's just something going on, energetically, I suppose, if you want to be woo-woo, because that's where we're going. But yeah, whenever there's been huge transitions in my life, my stomach has flared up, or there's been big worldly transformations, the stomach has flared up. And it's like, that's my sensitivity spot, if you will. But yeah, overall, the best way to get through any feeling is to stop, acknowledge it, listen to it, and see what it needs. And then go from there. Cry your heart out, scream your heart out, make steps, make plans, write things down, make a journal, do something creative if you're feeling that stuck, stagnant. Like if you're just feeling down, maybe you need to like make something and create something and sing or anything like this, just to get yourself going again. But again, I think acknowledging when you're feeling down and not trying to be like positive affirmations and everything is great, because not everything is always great, and that's okay. And that's okay to not have everything great all the time and perfect and sunshines and flowers, because that's not life and that's not true. And that's not why we are here as humans. We're here to be put through tests and put through heavy emotions, like love and fear and death and all that, and grief in between. All that stuff. We're meant to feel that and experience that. But it's heavy. And if we don't acknowledge our heavy emotions and feelings, they're just going to sit there and stack on top of each other. And then you're going to have this huge stack of emotions. And you know what happens? Someone comes over to tickle you like a little Jenga block, and then it just all comes out all at once. And it usually is exploded right onto that person that you love, unfortunately. But it is your responsibility to know your feelings and acknowledge your feelings and feel those feelings and not let them stack up and become explosions to people that you love and care about. And it's your job. It's your job to take care of yourself, to heal yourself, to grow yourself, to know yourself. I guess that's all I have to say. Regardless of what I'm saying, you know, we're all learning at different paces, and we're all growing at different paces, and we're all becoming our truest form every day. Start chipping away at things day by day by day by day. You'll eventually get to where you want to be and who you want to be and all that good stuff. And we're all on a journey. And most of the time it's really rocky. And it's what you do with your knowledge and your skills and your ability to adapt to get through those rocky roads. Because that's what makes life interesting, and that's what makes you interesting, going through those heavy experiences and going through emotions that are hard, and just getting out there and feeling is really important. So I hope this gave you guys some insight into feeling feelings, because it's really important, and I challenge you to try it. Next time you're feeling something, try to acknowledge it and see what it tells you, because it would be really fun to see if it works, if it's not just working for me, if it works for you. That's all great and good. But yeah. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye!